this demonstration, we will learn how to configure thread groups and ultimate thread groups for JMeter. To do this, we will install Dummy Sampler plugin and create a new JMeter test with a thread group and a dummy sampler. We will also add an ultimate thread group, another dummy sampler, and a view results tree listener to view our test results. Now, JMeter has two types of thread groups, standard and ultimate. Standard thread group is one of the most basic elements of a JMeter script, typically installed and available in JMeter by default, and includes properties like ramp up time, loop count, duration, etc., and is quite easy to configure. The ultimate thread group is the second thread group, which we will introduce as a part of this demo, and it's more advanced than a standard thread group, allows you to specify the ramp down as well as ramp up time, and is configurable in more complex thread scenarios. Now, to begin with, I've already launched my JMeter, so I'm going to go and launch the plugin manager and go to available plugins and search for a dummy sampler. And once this is done, let's also choose one more plugin, the JC standard set. And once this is also done, let's go ahead and apply changes and restart JMeter. Now that JMeter is back up, we will go ahead and create a new JMeter test. Let's go to File, Save Test Plan As. And I'm going to create a new folder here specifically for JMeter scripts. And I'm going to save this test case into it. Now I'm going to name the test case. And I'm going to call it JMeter 1-2 thread groups.jmx and save it. Now we are ready to add a thread group to the JMeter test. First of all, let's just get into a test plan screen and go ahead and enable run thread groups consecutively. And after this, I'm going to go ahead and add thread group to create a new thread group for this test plan. Note that by default, a thread group is configured to have one thread with a ramp up period of 1 second and a loop count of 1, as you can see on the screen. Now, the next thing we want to do is let's just go back and add a dummy sampler to this. And I'm going to go back into Edit and add sampler. And let's just go into dummy sampler. Right, so there is a dummy sampler. Let's just go ahead and configure some of the properties in it. Let's just give it a name. And I'm going to call it sampler in thread group 1. Now you're ready to configure the thread group. Let's just go back to thread group and say stop thread. Set the number of threads to 5 and the ramp up period to 60 and the loop count to 2. We're now ready to add an ultimate thread group to the test plan. So let's just go back to our test plan now and right click and go to add threads ultimate thread group. And let's just add 3 rows to the ultimate thread group and configure row number 1. We will set the threads count to 3. And I'm going to set the startup time as 0. And the hold time will be 900 seconds. And the shutdown time, I'm going to set it to 300. So similarly, I'm going to configure the rest of the 2 rows. All right, so I've now configured all the 3 rows for the threads. Please note that this test will begin with 3 threads, and the test will reach the 10 threads at about 2 minutes. This completes configuring the ultimate thread group. Let's now go ahead and add an additional dummy sampler and also add a view results tree listener. So let's right click your ultimate thread group and go ahead and add a dummy sampler to it. And this time let's just configure the name as sampler in TG2. And now let's go ahead and add a view results tree listener. So I'm going to go back to the test plan and add a listener to it. Let's go ahead and save all of this configuration. And then with the view results tree listener open, let's go ahead and run this test. You can now click on each of the sampler thread groups to view the test results. It will take, though, a couple of minutes to run all the 10 threads, and then the results for all the 10 threads will get displayed in this window. Similarly, you can go into thread group 2 once that shows up here in the list, and you will be able to view the results for that as well. At this point in time, you can either finish reviewing the test results or wait for the test to complete. This completes the demonstration. Thank you for watching.